Alrighty. Hey, folks, welcome back to another episode of the Korn and Kock podcast.
It's corn and porn.
Well, with me as always is Hall of Famer cartoonist Korn and former Major Leaguer Kock, and this is episode 7.
Lucky number 7.
Very lucky number 7.
Go out and buy a scratch ticket tonight. Whenever you can, because we're wishing you the Korn and Kock luck.
Yeah, with that. Speaking of which, that 50-50 raffle, that voice crack, that 50-50 raffle Dimex do, you could win, a couple $1,000s doing that.
Wait, what is the 50-50 raffle? It's just like, I know what a fucking raffle is, obviously.
Well, it's like pay $5-10 and you get 10 numbers, and then they put the numbers out, and you win it. So if the more
people who enter, the more money there is.
Yeah, and a couple weeks ago.
But it's also the less chance you have of winning. Because it's so many numbers and so many people who entered.
Well, apparently, usually the prize isn't that big, but apparently nobody won for a while, so the prize got up to like $100,000.
That's incredible.
Then somebody won it. So
that's freaking epic.
Okay, here, I started the timer.
That is so epic.
It's like a minute late.
That's fine.
It's a minute late. This is like the latest we've recorded a podcast. It's almost...
Yeah, we're recording on our normal day after some escapades the previous day.
Yeah.
We were going to have a guest, but that didn't fall through, but it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
We'll have him on at a later time.
In fact, yesterday was kind of fun because it would be Can we talk about it?
Yeah, you can mention it.
It'll be like you can refer to it as either a half episode or a lost episode. Like that SpongeBob episode.
Yeah, we recorded some stuff that wasn't bad, but it's just yesterday I really wasn't feeling too good.
There were some pretty funny moments.
We kept some moments, and we'll show them eventually as a lost episode. Like in case we ever, do some episodes where... God damn it, Feezy. Whenever we... He subscribed to us, by the way, so he's probably going to see that.
Yeah,
he's going to be like,
friends he's always talking to subscribe to us. He's too busy to come hang out with us.
Do we really want the 12-year-old Minecraft YouTuber audience?
Well, we cannot... Minecraft YouTuber.
I'm serious.
Did you call me Uber?
No, I said YouTuber.
Oh, I thought you said Uber.
Uber. It's the newest form of Uber, where you have to drive yourself.
Fuck Uber. Fuck you, Burr.
Okay, well, Oh, fuck. I'm sorry, I keep interrupting. Evan just sent me a picture over Discord.
Uh-oh. What's Discord?
Discord is like... Imagine Skype.
Alright.
But it was designed for, gamers. It was made for, to make chat rooms easier for gamers. But, I don't use it for gaming. I just use it to talk to people because it's easier than Skype. Because with Skype, you can set up group conversations, I guess, but Skype is more about the calling aspect, more than the message board ratio.
Well, also
not the ratio.
I've never been a part of a Skype call where the call just ended because of bad connection at least 4 times. Every time I've been on Skype, it has not been a pleasurable experience.
Yeah, Skype is shit, honestly.
That granted, I was using my phone at the warehouse when I was doing the newspaper, so there's that. But even when I was at my own house, Skype just never worked for me.
What the fuck, Skype? What the fuck, Microsoft?
Hey.
I absolutely hate how every time I have to update Skype, I stopped, I uninstalled Skype because I just never use it anymore. But I hated it whenever I would update it, which was every other day because Microsoft sucks.
Yeah.
It'd ask me if I wanted to make Bing my default search engine and make MSN my homepage, and I'm like, fuck no.
Fuck Bing.
But sometimes, I would skip over that message because I'd be in a rush or I was annoyed or whatever, and then I'd completely gloss over it. I'm like, no, go back, and it's too late. We already updated it. Fuck you. Yeah. And then I had to go in and delete all the stuff from Google Chrome, and that shit is annoying.
I know. I hate it when I have to update my phone every 2 weeks, and I feel like it's just unnecessary.
My phone got its first crack. I've had it for 3-4 years.
How did it get its first crack?
I have no idea, but it's not big, and you can't really notice it from looking at it right away, but it's right on the corner.
Well, I don't know, but does your phone do updates? Does it give you the option to update it?
For the longest time, it just didn't update, and then one day it was we're updating it, fuck you, and I was like, okay.
Well, here's the thing, and
then it updated 8 times after that one update. So I guess you have to update it from the very first update in order to update it the
Well, the thing that they do is they're like, hey, do you want to update your phone? Yes, later. There's no option for no, which I guess I understand, but still. So
the NSA needs to update their spyware so they can locate which Chuck E. Cheese you're at all times.
Well, the thing is, it's like they always want to update it when I'm using it and I'm right in the middle of something. So I say later, and it's like, okay, then 2 hours later, you want to update it? Yes or later? Later. So they just keep asking you, and then you're like, fuck you, fine, update. And they're like, thank you for updating. It's like, I didn't have the option to choose no. You kind of forced me to do it.
Thank you for choosing to upgrade. It's like, there was no choice here.
That's why it's kind of funny. Have your parents ever done this where they kind of like, they ask you if you can do something, and you know you don't have the option to say no. So you do it, and then later on they're like, oh, thanks for doing that. And you're like, didn't really have an option to say no, so... Thanks for rubbing it in.
Thanks, parents.
Thanks,
you fucking raised me and shit. The hell?
Oh, what do you think of my new hat?
I'm just kidding. Looks nice. It's the... What is it?
Washington Nationals.
Fuck me. I need to read up on my teams. I was surprised. Russell came to my house one day after school and he was like, what's this team? And he showed me the logo. And I got at least half of them. Like,
oh, he just put logos on. You just guessed.
Yeah, and you were like, "Which team is this?" And I was like, "Oakland Athletics." He's like, "How did you know that?" I'm like,
"Well, see, it's one thing."
Well, whenever you and Russell are talking
it's one thing
back
if you can get the team, but if you can get the city, that's like 2 points instead of 1.
Usually I got the
teams.
No, not the team. I got the city, but not the team. And
yeah, I mean,
sometimes I just didn't get both. But
yeah, there are some teams where it's just like.
It's an M and it's like an M logo and you're like, oh, the Mariners is like, it's the Milwaukee shit stains, and it's like, okay.
I hate the Brewers.
The Brewers.
Nothing against people from Milwaukee, but ever since 2011, I hate the Brewers.
Sad day.
Sad year for me.
Why has it been a sad year for you?
Well, at the time it was a sad year because they knocked the Diamondbacks out of the playoffs, and I had to wait for the next season, and that was the last time they went to the playoffs. So. Fuck the Brewers.
Hey, real quick.
What?
Largest shout out to our home team, Diamondbacks.
Big shout out. Here, let's check the score.
They have a game every fucking day. It's incredible.
I know. I don't think they have an off day on Thursday, but they play today and they play tomorrow. It's still nothing.
Oh shit! How many innings are they in?
They're in the top of the second.
Oh shit! This is gonna be a late game. Well, not too late, but you know.
Yeah, they're in LA, so the games start later. Yeah, they've won 12 in a row.
Oh yeah, because they're an hour behind. Okay.
Yeah. Also, big shout out to "Louder Than Love" by Soundgarden. That album turns 28 years old today, and check out the song "Gun."
The Gun.
It's just called "Gun," and it's really cool. It's really heavy and slow.
But okay, who would win? The Soundgarden song "Gun"? Yeah. Or me with 2 guns?
That's a tough one. Probably you with 2 guns.
Who would win? The entire U.S. Armed Forces or Curious George with 2 guns? Think about this. He's got 2 guns.
But didn't you write that as a whisper?
I did. It was funny.
I'm super pissed.
I haven't been... It's weird. Whenever I write some memey shit on Whisper nowadays, I only get like 3 responses, and it's usually either some gay guy wanting to suck my dick, some straight guy telling me I'm a faggot, or some chick telling me you're drunk, go to sleep, and I'm like, I'm perfectly sober.
See, I get the first 2. I don't even get like the first one.
But Stone gets so many responses to like.
I do.
Well, I mean,
most of them are to tell me to shut up and dude, you're spamming the feed. Stop. That's what I mostly get messages from. So I just delete them and flag them. I really think it's going to rain. Dude, look how dark it is outside.
Well, yeah, it's nighttime.
No, but it's like really dark because it's raining up north and it's coming back down.
Ah, shit.
Whenever it rains, it's just 50 times darker outside. No, but what was I going to do? I was going to buy stuff on Amazon this morning. And lo and behold, my account wasn't working because I couldn't log in. So I have to create another one, and I'm pissed. There better be that Florida Marlins hat when I go back home tonight and buy it. I'll be pissed if it's not.
Well, did you lose your password or something?
I don't even think... My dad's told me he's like, you made your own Amazon account, but I don't think I did. Because I tried my email, and I tried my password, and it didn't work. So I think I used his. I just paid with my own card.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is I have gift cards. I have $75 worth in gift cards for Amazon. So it's free.
Hot diggity damn.
The shit's free. But anyways,
this shit is tits.
let me get your... I came up with an idea this morning when I was playing Tetris and listening to System of a Down, waiting for my phone to charge. You know how a lot of people write songs about the various topics, and some of them are like real life issues, like political things and everything?
Yeah, System of a Down.
Yeah,
That's
like,
the best
like,
example.
Well, like System, they have
And a relevant example because you mentioned it.
Well, they have Armenian genocide, but they have other things that are not about that. But it's like a wide variety.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, Bounce is about an orgy, so that doesn't matter.
But that's kinky.
So let me get your input on some of these topics. There's a song by Pearl Jam called Glorified G, and he's mocking gun enthusiasts. How do you feel about guns?
How do I feel about guns?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Now,
Getting political.
I'm bringing this
I'm just
up
kidding.
because I don't want to bring this up with Russell here. Again, Russell, if you're listening.
He's not going to.
Well, I'm
and if
just
you
saying-
are,
I'm just
come
saying,
on the fucking podcast and defend yourself.
No, I'm just saying, if you want to come on here, fine. Just don't talk about guns, because we all know it's going to turn into a gun safety class, and I don't want to be a part of that again. Anyways,
So
you ever shot a gun?
I have. Remember that one time we drove?
Oh yeah, that was the first
an
time.
hour into the desert. It wasn't the first time I ever shot a gun. The first time I ever shot a gun was in the desert with Russell's shotgun, about the same place where we smashed TVs. There's a place a little bit up north from where we are right now, my house, in the middle of the desert, where we just smash TVs in the middle of the night to just get out anger. It's very cathartic. I suggest trying it someday. But we don't smash it with our hands. We have baseball bats and stuff. So
Yeah, very true.
we found this large ass fucking scorpion the other night.
Oh, dude, that thing was... How big was it?
It was
that big?
It was
That's
at least 2 inches long.
I'd say more. I think like 3.
3 probably with
and a
the
half.
stinger completely extended.
Oh, with the stinger, it was like 4 inches.
It was ginormous.
Holy
and
shit.
I remember Ben was trying to get rid of it because I had open-toed shoes, and I was like, dude, we need to get the fuck rid of this thing or it's gonna sting one of us. Most likely me.
Didn't Ben just want
And
to
he was like, I'm gonna throw it into the bush. And I'm like, dude, it's gonna come back. Fucking murderize that thing.
How's he gonna pick it up?
He had a piece of plastic from one of the TVs, like one of the pieces of the plastic casing.
Yeah, that's.
It's like, that's not a good idea because the thing can run up, just nick him in the
scorpions
finger.
move fast, and also that's a classic to be continued meme.
Right.
Ben's gonna get a piece of
He's
plastic.
like, here you go, little guy, and then it just crawls up.
I've been meaning to talk to you. We need to make our own to be continued memes.
Okay, I've never watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and you've never watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. We need to make a pact before we do that meme that we need to watch an episode of that show to so we understand it.
But here's the thing: no one would have known that until you just said it.
Everybody knows that meme is from fucking JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
I don't even know what is that.
It's an anime.
Oh, that explains it.
And it's one of the most popular ones out right now.
But anyways, to go back
Well,
with guns, how do you feel?
Yes. How do I feel about guns?
Just owning guns.
Owning a gun, I think that people should be allowed to own guns. I don't have a problem with people owning guns.
Mm-hmm.
But I honestly do believe that there should be background checks for certain individuals.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind going through a background check in order to get a gun, because let's face it, there are people out there that are fucking mentally unstable, and if they were to acquire a gun, bad shit would probably happen.
Well, don't you think it's kind of...
And rather than taking away all the I don't think we should take away all the guns, but I'm just saying, fucking run people through a fucking system. See what their past is like.
Well, don't you think it's a little too easy for people nowadays to just buy a
Well,
gun?
here's the thing, though. If people want a gun, they're going to get a gun anyway. There's the black market, there's whatever.
Yeah,
and that's a big argument. It's like, well, people are going to get the guns anyway, so why not just make them all
Make them all illegal?
No, not make them all illegal, just make them all legal. And you don't need any requirements. You can just go into a Walmart and buy a gun.
No, that's...
But it's like, because then there's just... It's
like saying...
It's a delicate balance. It's fucking weird.
Well, that's like saying make all drugs legal. That won't do anything.
Well,
I have heard people say that.
If they made all drugs legal, it would all of the drug empire lords, whatever the fuck, they lose influence like that. Let's be honest, the only reason any of those people are in power or in a position of power is because the drugs are illegal.
I've talked to people, and they really think, like, let's make all drugs legal. That's a really good idea. And
let's make fucking crocodile tears legal. That's cool.
Yeah, it's like...
Can't wait for my skin to fucking melt off. I mean, just because it's legal doesn't mean I'll try.
Yeah, but it's like, how come, like, if you want to be a shuttle bus driver, you got to go through all this... background.
It's like you're gonna be driving people around the airport. Do you know how fucking serious of a business that is? Oh, but if you want to buy an AK-47, no, here you go.
Yeah,
don't hurt nobody, or you'll get a slap on the wrist.
It's almost like they should be either even. They should both take the same amount of time, or we need to cut back on the shuttle bus background check and add more to the gun background check.
Yeah.
If there is a background check, I never bought a gun, and
I've never bought a gun. I feel like I will one day.
Yeah, same.
But, like, I don't want anything special. I just want something that'll...
And don't tell Russell. Don't tell Russell you're going to buy a gun.
Because then he'll be like, ooh, you got to get this one with this...
He's going to want to come with you.
With this kind of... With hollow point ammo. And I'm like, okay.
He's going to want to come with you. Then he's going to want to give you a gun safety class.
Because believe me, I know... I'm sure, I don't know a lot about guns, but from what I've seen, I think I know enough to at least handle like a handgun safely without hurting anybody.
How about last night when we were picking that TV up, Russell, the one person who like is a big gun enthusiast, is like the most scared out of all of us.
He is. Russell, we're sorry to poke shit about you. We love you. Don't get us wrong. But okay, there was this TV. We were getting another TV to bring to our spot. It was sitting outside in a pile of trash in front of somebody's house for bulk pickup. When the big bulldozers come in and
literally next to the sidewalk.
Yeah, it's with a bunch of trash. There was no misconstruing the fact that TV was derelict and nobody wanted it, and they were just leaving it out there with the rest of the trash. So we picked it up and we were trying to put it in Stone's minivan. It was really fucking heavy. Me, Stone, and Ben could barely lift it ourselves. We're like, Russell, get out here. And he's like, no, there's a car coming. And then some red Mustang drives by, and there's just a kid our age.
Yeah, these brand new fucking 2017 cars drive by.
Yeah, they drive by, they look at us, they flash the peace sign, then they drive off. And we were like, that's what you were scared of?
I know, Russell.
Come on, man.
He didn't even close. He didn't even close the door.
And it's like,
if they really wanted to, they could have taken him easily.
Even if it was a police officer, like, what are they gonna do? It's like,
they'll find something to get us.
Hello, officer. We're taking this TV that obviously this person didn't want since it was sitting next to all this other trash on the side of their house on the sidewalk.
Well, and the only thing is, it's a cop, and they'll find something to get us in trouble for.
It's Phoenix PD.
Well, if it's
you could shoot somebody in front of Phoenix PD, and
if it's Phoenix PD,
they'd be like, "Hey, cut that out."
No. If it's Phoenix PD, they'll be like, "Hey, you guys want some help? I can call in some backup. We can give you a hand with that." Hey, you gonna smash that thing? Can we join?
I can't talk shit about Phoenix PD. They totally let me off the hook that one time with the TV.
To wrap up the talk about guns is,
what do you think about guns?
I like them. I've gone shooting, and I agree. I'll probably get a gun too eventually, but I just think it's a little too easy for just any random person to get a gun. But when you want to go out and drive a shuttle bus or go out and do something, I don't know, some regular job, those things take way longer. But here, go out and buy a gun. Yeah, you can do that in a day.
It's like applying to a supermarket it takes longer than
it's like
applying to get a gun.
It's like, hey, you want to work at Costco? Well, you better wait 5 days for that background check to come in. But you want to buy a gun? Yeah, we can do that in 30 minutes. Let's go. Yeah, come on, man.
What kind of gun would you get? Would you get a handgun or would you get a shotgun?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Because I'd probably because if you get a shotgun, that thing's going to do damage. But like Bill Burr said in one of his stand-ups, it's like, do you really want to do drywall work if you just want to,
I'll probably buy a handgun. Yeah, that's a good point.
Gotta reupholster the fucking blinds.
Here's another song I had an idea with. Okay. It's called Never Enough by Dream Theater. Mm-hmm. And this song is written by the drummer of Dream Theater. And he's attacking Dream Theater fans that go to Dream Theater shows and they don't see their hit song played because they're playing other songs that they want to play. So it would be like
If we went to go see Metallica and they didn't play Master of Puppets, even though it's like their most popular song.
Yes. Bands want to... It's the classic... We want to play new songs off the album, and, you know, we've played this song 1,000 times. Let's give it a rest. And fans are like, no, we want to see the hits. And it really annoys me. Granted, I've never seen Metallica live, so I wanted to see Master of Puppets. Now, if I were to go see them again, and I didn't play it, I would say I've seen it live before. I'm okay with it.
Oh, yeah, but you do realize in the specific example of Metallica, that is never going to happen. They're never not going to play Master of Puppets.
I think they've played a couple shows here and there where they didn't play Master of Puppets. I think
it's their most popular song. Of course, they're going to fucking play it at mostly every show.
Oh, what the heck?
Whoa, what the heck?
Oh, my dad texted me something.
He's like, "Heyo." Oh, something D-backs related.
Oh, okay, wait, hold on. In the history of the D-backs, pitcher struck out 14 batters 28 times. Randy Johnson did it 23, Kurt Schilling 4. Then Ray last night. Isn't that funny? RJ was so amazing. He really was.
I don't know who you're talking about, but I'll believe you.
Well, anyways, it's like if we were to go see System of a Down, and they didn't play Chop Suey or BYOB. Okay, they wouldn't do that. They let's say we go to see System, they don't play BYOB. But they had a new album. So they play new songs off of the new album, but they didn't play BYOB. And we're like, hey, why don't you guys play BYOB? This show sucks. And they're like, really? You're upset about one song when we just played 30 songs?
Well, let's be completely honest. You and me would be pretty hype if they had a new album and they just started playing it.
Yeah, because I'm okay. I'd rather see... I've seen Rush 5 times. If they didn't play Tom Sawyer, I'd be okay with it. I want to see songs they've never played live. I want to see the new stuff. But, majority of music fans would rather see the same song played 100 times than to see a new one. I don't get it. And what else? There are a handful of songs that Rush has done about fear and the different kinds of it. Part 1 is called The Enemy Within, and this is about how it's you against yourself, and you're keeping yourself from going out and doing what you want to do because you're afraid of what could happen when you're just kind of making stuff up. Now, that's happened to me as it happened to you.
I'd say so, yeah.
And then part 2 is called The Weapon, and that's about how fear can be used against you as a person, to control you and put you down with the idea of fear. Again, because you're afraid to go out and do something because someone can use it against you. And then part 3, and this is probably the biggest one, is called Witch Hunt. This is how fear can be used to kind of brainwash and control society.
Well, yeah.
Like news.
Wrong. You fake news. Wrong. I'm going to put my fucking toupee up to dry.
And then the last part...
I'm not funny.
Part 4 is...
I got no more funnies in me.
Part 4 is called Freeze, and this is how you get so afraid you just freeze and don't do anything at all.
Well, that's like horror movie levels of fear. We're not talking about like, oh man, I shouldn't ask that girl out because she's gonna... It's like, holy fuck, there's an axe-wielding maniac outside. What do I do?
No, I mean, there's different kinds of fear. There's a fear of not asking a girl out because you're afraid to get rejected.
And then there's fear for your life because some fucking phantom is tormenting you in a mental hospital.
Has that ever happened to you where you were so afraid that you could not move?
No.
It's happened to me once.
Never. Ooh, tell the story. That sounds interesting.
Remember a few months ago, there was that killer in Maryvale. He would wait for people to...
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, he would wait. He would like go up to people parked in their cars and just kill them.
Or he would wait for people... He would kill people walking in and out of their house, like loading something from their car to the house.
Oh, yeah.
And then in between, he'd just shoot them and drive away. So I came home, and this was like in January, February of this month, so...
Of this month, you mean this year?
This year. Well, I don't know. I don't know if they ever got caught. I think he just stopped.
He was like, I got bored.
Yeah, so...
I'll go take up checkers.
Yeah, so that's always... Isn't that always fun? It's like, oh, it's a killer, and he stops.
And then you just a month later, like, no one's talking about him. It's like, is he still out there?
Yeah, like, and then you do research on it, and then you just...
He was never caught. However, more mysterious disappearances. It's like, God damn it, guys.
Yeah, it's like, then there's copycat killers. It's like, no. Do something original. Just kidding. I was
Yeah,
at my
if you're gonna
house.
kill someone, do it your own special way.
Well, I was at my house at like 12:30.
Uh-huh.
I was sitting there going through my phone, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna go inside. So I got out and I walked over to my door, and about 5 steps from my door, I see headlights, shining on the window of my house. Cause where my house is, that corner. People drive by, and I see headlights all the time. But for some reason, it was going really slow.
Oh.
So I looked back, and this car was turning really slow, and I just could not move. Like, I was just like staring
you were
at this
thinking
thing.
like it's the guy.
Yeah, I was like, this is it. This is the dude. I'm gonna get plowed down. I'm just gonna get, and he's gonna speed away. I'm gonna bleed to death. So that's
let's be honest. Was it at home?
Yeah, but the point is like that was the only time.
I can understand the fear, but
that was the only time I literally could not move. I could only just kind of just stare and watch, and then the car eventually just drove away, and I was like, okay.
Fuck.
I snapped out of it, and then I unlocked the door and I went inside, and I was like, holy shit! I was just about to stand there and just take death in the face. Like a porn star.
Well, let's be realistic. Even if he did shoot you, from the street to the front of your door, it's a sizable distance. Let's say he's using a handgun and he hits. Chances are unless he gets really lucky, he's not going to hit any vital organs.
I'm gonna get hit with something, whether it's a ricochet or.
If you let's just say you get like shot in the gut or something, right? That can be stitched up, and yeah, you'll bleed profusely, but you are right there at your door.
No, but more importantly, the money.
Well, yeah.
You don't have that. I'm not insured.
It's okay. I'm insured.
No, really, I'm not. My sister's insured. Everyone in my family is, but I'm not insured.
Why not?
Because we just haven't. I don't know. It's complicated. I don't even know all the details. All I know is that it's complicated.
Well, fair enough. But even...
Fair enough.
Well, okay, never mind. Fuck the healthcare system in this country. Eat my ass. I was telling the story again last night in the Mega Man Discord. Mm-hmm. I told this... I was really bored, like, after you dropped me off, so I was like, does anyone want to hear the story about how I got hit by a car? And I told the story about how it took like 8 years for me to go into that urgent care, get my arm checked out. Like, this old man with a fucking bladder infection who came in after me got in before I did. And I was hit by a fucking car. It was ridiculous.
What was wrong with him?
He had a bladder infection. It burned when he peed.
I mean...
That was it. And he was like a 75-year-old man.
Well, that's why.
Well,
he's an old guy. That's the only reason why they would.
That's fucked up, though.
It is fucked up, but that's
so if a toddler who, well, no, that's a
okay.
That's
babies are gonna win no matter what. You can have a broken leg. Your leg can be separated.
You could have your leg in your hand, and you could have a bleeding stump with a piece of rope tied around it to stop the flow of blood. And they'd be like, "All right, take a seat. We'll call you up the nurse will call you when we're ready."
No, they'll be like, "All right, come back here." But if a woman runs in with her baby, and it's like the baby hasn't taken a shit in 3 days, it's like
the baby hasn't taken a shit in like an hour, and it's like, "Oh shit, this is gonna require some." Doing.
Yeah, but it's like, sir, you're gonna have to take a seat. And you're like, hey, remember the leg I'm holding in my hand? That used to be right here under my knee.
They're like,
can you do something about that?
Have you tried turning it off and on again? And then he just goes back to doing his work.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck, man? Really? I gotta wait for a baby?
Well, okay, fine. I can, whatever, infants. But, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to old people, but as Ben said in the previous podcast, old people are either the nicest people ever, or worse than Satan. There's no middle ground.
Yeah.
And that guy seemed like a pretty crabby guy, because like he came in, and then when the nurse called him, he's like, about time. And I'm just sitting there. Literally everyone in that waiting room could see that I was in distress, because I walked in with the lady, and the lady was like, yeah, he got hit by a car. He needs an x-ray and stuff, and people were like looking and paying attention, and I'm just kind of sitting there not moving my arm. I'm like holding it above the table, because if I move it at all, I just feel immense pain. And like even sometimes like when I turned around, I winced. I was like, ugh, like physically.
Yeah.
And people looked, and it was like, the fuck, man.
Yeah.
Really, no one was like, hey, man, are you okay? I don't know. I got hit by a car. How the fuck do you think I feel?
It's like, if you're a guy and you go into like an urgent care or whatever, it's like, okay, what's gonna top a guy? Any old person, a baby, a kid, under the age of 12. If it's like a teenager, it's kind of like, oh, he's a dumbass. He should have known better. If it's a girl, yeah, it's probably gonna come before a guy. Almost any woman will get in front of a guy. So guys are at like the bottom of the list. Guy could have both of his legs sawn off and holding him in his lap. He has a gunshot that went into his head and exited somehow, and he's still alive, and he's just like, please, I need help. But if a 12-year-old kid walks in with a blister, 12-year-old kid's going to go right in first. Why?
America. But that's not even why I was so mad. I was more mad because the lady who hit me paid for 2 x-rays, one of my wrist and one of my elbow, but they ended up doing one of my leg, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was my leg. Yeah, and they fucking before I even got out of the thing, I think I remember I told you that, like, before I even got out of the fucking doctor's office, they called, the front desk called me and was like, hello, may I speak to Alex Korn? And I'm like, I'm here. I'm still in the fucking doctor's office. What? I haven't left yet. And he's like, oh, just come up to the front desk whenever you're ready. And I went up and he's like, we need $50 more for the third x-ray. And I'm like, fucking really? And it was just like a stroke of pure luck that the lady who hit me gave me $21 in cash for food, and I had $29 in my bank account. Fuck. It was a stroke of pure luck, because I would not have been able to leave otherwise. Unless, like, I called my mom, but that was like a last resort. And I doubt my mom would have been happy to.
Well,
oblige.
Yeah, well, how come old people never want to, like, admit that it was their fault when they did something?
Because they've been through so much shit, they're just like, yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, like, when I was longboarding, that dude hit me with his truck. He tried to make it seem like it was my fault.
And he's like, how can you slap?
No, like...
How can you slap?
Apparently, he, like, followed me. Keep in mind, I'm at an intersection. I get on my longboard, and how long would you say it takes to longboard, a mile down the street? Like...
A good
10, 15 minutes?
Not a mile? Well, it depends if you're going uphill or downhill. Downhill, I'd say, like, probably 8 to 10 minutes. Uphill, I'd say 15. Yeah,
so basically, I go down to the end, I turn left, and there's this big-ass truck, and God knows how long he was following me, because I had headphones on, I was listening to System of a Down of all. I will admit, if I'm going to get hit by, a truck, I think I got hit while listening to Attack. That's a good song to get hit by.
It's like, fuck, man.
So anyways, he, is obviously after me, and I saw that I was an old guy. I'm like, alright, I can take him on if anything happens. So he, like, rolls down his window and he's like, you hit my truck. And I'm like, excuse me? And he goes, you hit my truck. And he points at the thing. I'm like, no, you hit me. Your truck hit me. You drove at me and hit me. And he's like, well, the windshield, not the windshield, the thing won't move. And you know how some cars, you can, like, touch a lever and it can move the side mirror?
Yeah.
He says that wasn't working. He's like, it's not working. I'm like,
probably because he was in a shitty fucking 1950s Ford.
No, that truck was new. He's just like, I just got this truck last year. Now it won't work. I'm like, yeah, it won't work because you hit me. That's why it won't work.
Well, how did he hit you? Did he hit you from the side? Or oh wait, did he pull up in front of you and then you smacked into his rear view mirror?
I was
or one of his side view mirrors.
Well, let me ask you this. You're at a crosswalk.
Yes.
It says go.
Yes.
All right. So you have the right of way, right? And
yes.
Guy, he was making a left. Who has the right of way? The guy making a left, or me that has the walk sign to go?
The fucking pedestrian. Pedestrians always have the right of way.
Exactly. So with me against an old guy, who do you think's gonna win?
Even if they're jaywalking, the pedestrian has the right of way. It doesn't give you the right to smash into the person and kill them.
So anyways, I was walking. It said walk, so I put the board on the ground. I started going, and I looked down, and I saw a truck coming at me. So I looked up, and I saw he was coming. So I jumped off, and hit my board hit his tire, but his side mirror like hit my arm. I think it was
okay.
Yeah, it was my left arm, but it was kind of like a push.
Yeah.
But still, that'll shake you up. So and then the board just bounced back.
Uh-huh.
So I picked it up. He like went down 20 feet and stopped. And I looked and I put my arms up and looked at him. I should have flipped him off, and then I kept going. So now he's trying to make it seem like it was my fault when I looked at this guy and I want to say, clearly you should not be driving. You're way too old to drive a big ass truck like this. You would kill somebody like that.
How old did he look?
He looked like he was in his 70s.
Fuck.
If that. So anyways, I wish there was a better ending to this story, but he's like, you damaged my truck. I'm like, no, you hit me. I didn't do anything. Yeah, I hit the thing because your truck hit me. And then he goes, he's like, well, I just bought it. Maybe I can get it fixed. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's like, all right, maybe this didn't happen. Maybe I can get it looked at and this didn't happen. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, sure.
And then he rolls the window up and he drives away. And I'm like,
what the fuck,
yeah.
man?
And I'm like, okay. So then I go to the mall and I think I was visiting Andrea and the gummy douche.
We keep mentioning all these people that we don't explain who they are.
We were visiting my girlfriend at the time and a guy I used to be friends with, but not anymore.
Guy we used to be friends with. I was friends with him before. Stone. Fuck that guy. Eat my.
So I get over
pixie
there
dick.
and I told them what happened, but everything was fine. They were just like, "What happened?" I was like, "Yeah, an old guy hit me," and they're like, "Oh, okay, well, fuck that guy." So yeah, that's pretty much it. But moral of the story is, old people will never take the blame for anything. Like, really, they could be sitting at a desk and it's like, you touch this red button, 10 nuclear bombs will go off all over the country, and they'll press it and they'll be like, why'd you do that? It's like, I didn't do it, I didn't mean to do it.
It's like, I thought you said press the button and it won't send off 10 million new. It's like, what the fuck? How?
Then it's like, I'm old, I'm confused. It's like, then you shouldn't be doing shit.
People who do things that are wrong will always find an excuse as to why they did it.
I don't know.
To put themselves in the right.
At least young people will at least try to put up a halfway decent argument. Old people are like, I'm old. It's like,
one thing I fucking hate is when like people online.
Yeah. What?
Like they like especially like artists. And I've done this before, but I've learned to grow out of it because I'm not a fucking little kid anymore. Like when you just complain and moan and whine about how other people get more attention than you.
Yeah.
And like play the victim, like, oh man, it's oh man, I wish I could get better if I only had some more support. And just like,
are they 12 years old or something?
And just like playing the victim and saying like, oh well, I shouldn't be complaining, but it's just so hard. It's like, just because you acknowledge that what you're doing is wrong doesn't make what you're doing right. Like,
yeah, it's like, look, I'm gonna say something offensive here. I'm gonna say something mean. It's like, it doesn't make it okay.
Like, I remember one time when I was really little, when I first started my DeviantArt page, back when I was like 7 years old. I wasn't fucking 7. Fucking like, back when I was like 13. I was like 13 when I made my DeviantArt.
What happened?
Or was I like 12 and a half? I don't remember. Because it turns 8. My account turns 8 this year. I've been on there for almost a decade. Wow. Sorry, but
yeah, what happened?
I was just complaining about something one day, and I was just like, woe is me, you know, like, complain, whine. And then this one guy who had been following me for a while just comes up and says, fuck you, you stupid whiner. This isn't Facebook. Quit complaining like a little bitch and just grow up. And I looked at that message and I was like, he's totally right. What the fuck am I doing? Just complaining on the internet isn't going to solve any of my problems.
Really?
And I mean, like, ranting to someone who's listening to your problems is one thing, but complaining about it to like a public forum and being like, oh, woe is me, and then it's a completely different thing.
Yeah, you won't get anything out of it. You won't get anything in return.
Like, it sounds like I'm making it out to be the same thing, but there's a difference if you know what I'm talking about. If you get the subject matter at hand. It's just like... And I remember that message to this day. I keep looking back at it. Like, whenever I think about complaining about something, I'm like, that's not going to help me at all. I shouldn't do that. Thank you to that person. If you ever watch this podcast, you know who you are. Hopefully.
Well, see, like there's a difference between people complaining and people voicing their opinions about something. People voicing their opinions, that's fine. At least with me, I'm fine with that. When people go and complain, there's no excuse for that. There's no, making that look pretty. Complaining is complaining. However old you are, wherever you do it, at the end of the day...
However big your tits are. I'm just kidding.
Fuck them.
Ooh.
Was that... That had to have been picked up. Is that your thigh?
Maybe. I was just stretching my leg and something popped.
Damn, you're not me. Your bones don't crack.
My lower back is probably going to break within the next year, so...
Dude, like, I'm gonna get arthritis in my fingers and
Oh,
everything.
speaking of fingers...
What? What?
Stone and I have a blister on our right pointer finger in the exact same spot.
We should take a picture of it and flash it on screen, because it's like in the same exact spot. It's like the same size, too.
Yeah, right? It's weird. All right.
Although yours is older. Mine's like...
Mine is older. I got mine earlier this week while I was doing yard work. And Stone just got his because he was playing drums.
Yeah, I got this
with a drumstick.
ago.
Like, did you buy new drumsticks today? Because I remember you talked about it.
Yeah, I kind of bought them. They're kind of heavy, so...
Is that why you got blisters? Because you were getting used to them and you didn't really know
Well, actually, it might be that, or I didn't grip it tight enough, so it's just loose, and it rubs against the skin. And well, you know how blisters work.
I do.
But
I
that's
also
the
got
thing.
a fucking another one last
It's like
night
if you ever want to play
and
drums, blisters is one thing.
Blisters is one thing you got to get used to.
Yeah, and some people are like, just play through the blister. It's like, okay, dumbass.
That fucking hurts.
Not only does it hurt, it's only going to get worse. So you either put something over it and keep going. That just makes it tolerable. But if you play, I hate it when people are like, oh, I got a blister, so I stopped playing. Oh, pussy, you should have kept going. It's like, okay, first of all, you can't even play an instrument.
Let me shave a piece of your skin off, and then you tell me
how let me take a piece of wood, rub it against your skin multiple times for 10 minutes straight, just beep, 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 on your skin.
It makes that sound effect, too.
It does make that sound effect. And then a piece of your skin, dude, I'll be playing. I think there's even footage of me doing it, because this thing happened while I was filming. And there's like a 5-second break, and I reached out and like ripped it off with my mouth and spit it out and just kept playing. I'm probably not going to use that footage, but...
Damn.
It sucks. I've had blisters while I was filming, and you just, camera's rolling, you can't stop, you got to keep going. And it really fucking hurts. It really does.
What was I going to say?
Something about blisters?
Something about root beer, right?
Are you the pig from Barnyard?
Hello! Let me see if I can nail it.
This segment is brought to you by Back at the Barnyard.
Fuck Back at the Barnyard. That pig is my favorite character, though.
That pig is the worst character.
Dude, do you remember, like, randomly, like, throughout the episodes, like, it would come up with viewer mail?
Fuck
like,
viewer
like something,
mail!
Like, something would be happening, and all of a sudden...
Fuck the viewer mail with the fucking pig.
No, seriously. In that YouTube poop that we showed you the other day, the Chowder collab, I showed you that. Remember, like halfway through it, they just throw up the fucking
that was
viewer
like the
mail.
funniest part.
I know. When I watched it with Zane for the first time ever, like earlier that night, we were watching it. We fucking lost it because that was the last. We were expecting the irate gamer. We were expecting
the irate gamer.
Fuck the irate gamer. We were expecting the nostalgia critic. We were expecting the angry video game nerd. We did not fucking expect the pig from Back at the Barnyard. Oh god, it was so funny.
Jeez,
it was so funny, dude.
Especially,
it was so funny. Can you tell how funny it was by how much I'm saying how funny?
No, if
funny.
If you wanted to, remember that clip where you, me, and Feezy played Mario Party, and you did the Back at the Barnyard thing with the pig?
Back at the Future.
Yeah, Back at the Future, and you talked like the pig, and I was like, you can't see it, but you could hear me just.
Oh yeah, you just like turn away from the camera because you're laughing so hard.
I was crying. That's one of the few times. At least with Alex, because I've cried multiple times laughing, but with Alex, that was like one of the few times that he said something and I was crying my eyes out. And it was because it was just so random and it came out of nowhere. And his impersonation of the pig is like spot on.
That was genuine.
no.
I think one of the other times was we were at this pizza place one time waiting for our friends.
Oh,
and
yeah.
all of a sudden, like, he was trying to eat his pizza, and I was like, like coughing, because I was sick, and he's like, can you please not do that? I'm trying to eat. It disgusts me. And I went, and it just started making him laugh.
Yeah, because the first time it was just gross.
It was like, can you stop? And I was like, oh, sorry. And then I like did it on purpose the next time, but I like over exaggerated it. And he was like, can you not?
Because the first time it was coughing, it was kind of like gross, and he like made no attempt to like, you know, prevent it.
Hey, they never got sick, so whatever.
So the first time I was like, dude, that's gross. I'm trying to eat. And then the second time it was like, okay, that was funny, but I'm trying to eat here. Stop. And then every time I would take a bite, he would do it, and then I would like drop the pizza, or like I'd take a drink of Coke, and then I'd spray it all over the place. And that was his ringtone for the longest time.
Oh yeah, I recorded myself on his phone going ooh 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 ooh. So whenever I called Stone, he would just hear that on his phone.
Remember when we were at PV Mall? And
he'd be
like,
making out with a hot chick, and all of a sudden
Yeah.
you hear ooh 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 ooh.
I think you have called me when I was with either with a girl or with someone who had no idea what that was.
And they're like, the fuck, man.
So out of nowhere, it's like we're just talking. It's like, hey, what kind of drumsticks you got? Well, we got 5B. These ones a little bit heavier. And then I have to be like,
sorry, I have to take this.
yeah, it's like, hold on. Hey, Grandpa, how's it going?
Anyways, Jim, how you doing?
I showed my sister a couple Filthy Frank videos, and she thought they were funny.
Oh, well, your sister has good taste.
Yeah, but
Except the fact that she vapes, that's gay.
I haven't seen her do it, but
Good, if you ever do, slap it out of her hand.
let me just say, if you're gonna vape, and you're gonna vape water flavor, just drink fucking water. Look, if you're gonna vape,
Literally just boil water and then huff that. Like,
boil water, go to the kitchen sink, pour your glass of water, and just drink it. And pretend like you're smoking it. Or if you're gonna vape, at least pick a flavor. Look, if you're gonna go all in,
look,
go
if you're
all
gonna
in.
get popcorn lung, get popcorn lung from like Cherry Surprise, something that like makes you happy.
When did vaping become like a thing? I remember like
Vaping became a thing like junior year of high school.
I
Like, it
remember-
wasn't big until that point.
I remember like a few years back, I would see
But
like one or two people vape.
It all started with vape pens though, and then it got like to those bigger vape pens, and then it went to the vape boxes, and now we're stuck at vape boxes because there hasn't been any.
I don't know.
Next, we're gonna
man.
get fucking vape pyramids.
No, because I remember like I would see a couple people vape every now and then, and it's like whatever. And then I worked at Sardella's, and a coworker started to vape, and then after that, that's when I noticed everybody started to vape. They would have like. It got to the point where we went to restaurants and like, do you want vaping or non-vaping area? It's like,
What the fuck?
fucking really? What about smoking cigarettes? It's like, oh, that kind of takes over everything. They just smoke wherever. But we have a no vaping area and a vaping area. It's like, what the fuck, man?
No smoking or e-cigarettes allowed. No one fucking calls them e-cigarettes.
Fuck. It's like, why can't we just go back to having cigarettes? Why do we have to have like cigarettes and there's vaping, there's vape pens, there's e-cigarettes, and there's like. Shut the fuck up.
Remember the 1950s when you could do that shit in public and no one cared?
Remember when you can smoke a
And now
cigarette
you, like,
on a plane? You remember those days?
Oh my god. No, and then nowadays, if you smoke, like, in, like, a public park on a bench, in the middle of the park with, like, no one around you, you're a fucking, like, to eco-activists, you're just, like, a piece of shit because you're polluting the air. It's like, fuck you, man.
Fuck you, man. And also, people who are vegan, good for you, but why do you think you're hot shit? You're not. You just eat different food.
You think you're hot, but you're not.
Do you know of someone who's vegan and like brags about it? I think everyone knows
I
a
don't
couple.
know. I don't personally know anybody who's vegan and brags about it. I have a friend on Facebook. I put friends in like really big air quotes because the extent of my relationship with that person is I had a few classes with them in high school, and they talked to me sometimes, and they thought I was somewhat nice.
The girl?
Yes.
How come it's like 99% of the vegans are like women? And they weren't vegans to start off with. They were like, they make. Why do vegans make it seem like they used to be recovering drug addicts?
I mean,
and they're like,
to me, it doesn't really matter because she's hot as fuck, but.
well, it's like, I don't like it when girls are like, I used to eat hamburgers, and then I woke up one day.
I realized that baby cows were being put in the hamburgers.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I don't do this and I'm a vegan. It's like, dude,
I mean,
you're not a recovering alcoholic. You ate a hamburger.
But the thing is, like, yeah, animal, like, that shit is terrible. Like, I've seen a few videos, and my mom can tell you about this because she's watched way more than I have. But, you know, videos of the slaughterhouses.
Like hot dogs.
Of where they, like, you know, they, like, behead chickens and they fucking... The one thing that I, like, and I'm sorry to fucking bring this up because it's, like, doesn't really have anything to do with it. But, I like the videos of, like, in China where they just have crates full of dogs filled to the brim where literally none of them can move because it's so full. Or, like, with cats and, like, how they skin cats. Like, it's fucking awful. Anyone who says, like, oh man, like, who gives a shit about that tree hugging bullshit, they've never seen a video of a cat being skinned alive. Like a kitty cat. I'm not talking about like a bobcat or like some kind of wild animal you can find in like the Alps.
We're not talking about we're not talking about a pussy who can handle it.
We're not talking about like you're hunting a fox on your grandpa's acre of land. We're talking about like these people breed these cats simply for the purpose of skinning them, then cooking them up and eating them. It's fucking...
Well, back to back to the whole vegan thing. I'm not against it. I'm kind of for it because...
Do you mind if I finish the tangent real quick? Because I'm...
As long as it's not dark, because that took a really dark turn.
Well, it's true. I know this world is dark. What do you want me to do?
No, I know it's true, but it's like it went.
We can't talk about the Diamondbacks all the time.
It went from being kind of lighthearted to just holy crap. That just got real. It's darker than it is outside.
It is pretty dark outside.
I know.
No, but I was just gonna say like, but then where do you draw the line, right? Because you could make the argument that people in China eat dogs because that's their delicacy there, just like how here in the United States we cook up chickens or cows, Yeah,
that's a good point.
But it's like people have cows for pets, like not a whole lot of people, but some people have like there are cows that act as like pets and are friendly like pets and pigs too. And like there's some videos where it's like animals have emotions, man. It's like, and it should be the same thing with censorship, right? Either all of it's okay or none of it's okay. Like, we can't pick and choose. Like, don't get me wrong, I like a good hamburger every once in a while.
Or bacon.
Bacon's delicious. I'm sorry for all the little piggies that I've consumed over the years.
Well,
you were fucking delicious. You did not die in vain. But it's like you can't be like, oh yeah, cats and dogs should not be killed, but pigs and these animals are fair game. It's like if we want to have a movement like that, we need to all come together and either say all of it's okay or none of it's okay. And I know that's extremist, but
and you need
to unless you do one or the other, it's unfair to both sides.
You need to think before you say.
You can't please everyone.
It's like the people who say, I hate all Christians. It's like, why would you say that? I had a guy say that to me. He's like, I hate all Christians. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess you hate me. And then he's like, okay, I don't hate you. I just hate all the other Christians. It's like, dude.
It's like, no. Either you say that and you mean it.
No, people who say that mean it. People who say that,
no,
they do. No. People who say that, the guy who said it to me, he meant it. Like, I could totally see it.
Like, I fucking hate Christians.
Yeah.
They suck.
Yeah.
And then you were like, you hate me then, and you were like, okay, no, you, the one individual, is cool. Everyone else sucks dick.
Yeah,
is that basically what he said?
Yeah, it's like, dude, just own it. If you're going all in, own it. Don't you hate it when someone's like, this is how I feel, and then the next day, okay, no, this is how I feel.
I hate trans people, and then some trans person comes up and it's like, but I'm trans. It's like, oh, no, I didn't mean you. I mean the other ones. It's like,
I mean, all the 99% others, but you're the 1% that
you're the 1% that's cool. It's like, no, that's cherry picking.
Yeah, you need
if you have a cause that's bigoted and like that. And close-minded like that, either you own it, or you're a fucking hypocrite.
Yeah, just go all in, or not at all. You can't go halves on a pie with this. All right. You need to say, look.
Unless it's boysenberry, fuck boysenberry pie.
I don't know.
Apple all the way.
but again, back to the whole vegan thing.
Yes, continue.
I'm not
I'm sorry.
against it. I'm not, because I can't do it. I don't want to do it.
Uh-huh.
But I don't like it when women, because again, I'm sorry. I'm
I
sure.
don't like it when people.
I'm sure there are plenty of guys out there who are vegan. I just haven't seen them because they don't brag about it on Facebook. Good for you guys. I don't like it when these girls go on Facebook and they're like, being vegan changed my life. It's like, okay, I can maybe
Try
buy
it
that.
or you're going to hell.
It's like, I can maybe buy that. And then they're like, I used to be so dirty-minded. I used to eat KFC and hamburgers, and then now I'm pure. I eat salads and blah, blah,
I
blah,
eat
blah.
birdseed and fucking dried berries I found on the.
But they're making it seem
Lord of
like
the Forest.
they're making it seem like they did crack cocaine and they recovered and now they're sober. It's like, no, it's not. It's eating food. It's not like heroin. Eating a burger and doing heroin, not the same thing.
But Stone, she's like heroin.
I don't know. I just don't like it.
Yeah, I agree with you there. It's kind of annoying.
Somebody brought up a good point about
But here's-
vegans.
Oh, what? Say.
I don't remember what it was, but it said something like people who are vegan, or was it vegan? Someone said it had something to do with owning pets. It's like they want to free all pets, free all animals, but they still have pets in their house. It's like you're a hypocrite because you're owning a pet and you're keeping it in your house, but you want all animals to be free. I think.
You do, but
I'm repeating what another guy said.
I'm just saying with a point like that, like if they mean every single kind of animal, do you know how like hostile of an environment that it would be? Like how hard it would be for them to adapt?
Then everyone might actually need a gun if all animals are
Because
gonna
like
be free.
how when was the last time you saw like a dog, like a German Shepherd dog, not like a wolf, not a coyote, a dog that lived in the wild by itself, that was born in the wild and has stayed in the wild and has not been picked up by animal control? The answer is you don't, because that's like a thing of the past. Mostly cats and dogs are domesticated now.
Barely cats.
What do you mean? Well, I mean,
I see
like
cats on the street all the time.
yeah, but at some point they were probably. But here's the thing: I'm talking about like in the desert or in the forest or like out in the wild. I'm not talking about like behind your local Walmart hiding in some boxes like alley cats. I'm not talking about that.
Not in this desert. In the Arizona desert, you got like a day before you die out there.
Well, that's why I said like forests and stuff, like not necessarily the desert. So it's just like, do you know how awful it would be for like that? Yeah, you actually bring up a good point with that, because what if we all let out all of our animals today and they just roamed free? They'd probably die in the heat, honestly, because Arizona is just fucking awful with the heat.
Well, also like if you want to have
especially if they've what?
How many times have you interrupted me?
Alright. Sorry. Go ahead.
If you're gonna let all animals be free, back to what we said before, then everyone really should have a gun. Because if you're gonna have literally every single animal free, there are gonna be a lot of animal attacks. And I'm sorry, but how do you prevent animal attacks? You can't really harm it or hurt it, you have to kill it. You know, if a dog is gonna attack an 8-year-old, you're not gonna harm it and then get it. No, you gotta kill the damn thing. And then what are you gonna do? You get the 8-year-old away, then train the 8. No, you gotta put the dog down. I don't know. It's annoying.
Put down, old Yeller. I remember watching that movie.
I didn't cry during that part.
Neither did I.
None of the guys cried during that, but all the girls cried in 5th grade. You know.
I was just about to say, you don't cry in 5th grade unless you want a fucking face full of fist.
No, the only time you're allowed to cry in 5th grade is if you fall in the basketball court and skin your knee and there's blood. Then it's okay if you cry.
Oh my fucking god. I had a friend in 4th grade. I remember like one time at school, I ate shit like really bad and I got scraped up really bad. And I was like, I'll be fine. Like I was totally like mature about it. Like I didn't cry. I didn't even tear up. I was just like, this kind of hurts.
Yeah.
But I'll be fine. I remember one time there was a half day and I was planning to hang out with one of my friends, and literally like 20 minutes before school was about to end, the kid fucking literally like one of the teacher's aides was like standing in a certain way that like her ankle was like jutting out from behind her. The kid tripped on that, fell on one of his knees, and he started like bawling his eyes out. He was rolling around the floor, and he like barely scuffed it. And I was just like, God, I remember back then I was looking at him. I'm like, God damn it, dude! Now we're not gonna be able to hang out.
What?
Like, I remember thinking this in 4th grade. I was like, this is bullshit. You're fine. Get up.
Dude, I remember, thoughts I had in, 5th, 4th, 5th, 6th, 5th grade too.
4th, 5th.
Yeah,
All those grades, man.
that's called stuttering. But, yeah, I don't know.
What is your... Ooh, here's a good question. What is your worst memory of elementary school? 1 through... Like, kindergarten through 6th grade. Because I know mine, but I want to hear yours before I tell mine.
Are we doing worst? Can we do best and worst?
Sure.
Okay, I'll say worst. And this is just off the top of my head, but for some reason, I don't know why, but for some reason, I went over to my great-grandmother's house, and she had passed away, and my dad was going through a bunch of stuff, and he found this little statue of JFK.
Uh-huh.
And for some reason, I really liked it. And he's like, you can have it if you want. And I was like, all right. So I took it to school. I think you can guess what happens after that.
What did you... Were they like...
They made fun of me. They stole it and put it... I remember one
Oh, I thought you were... The teachers... I thought it was like going to be like a teachers got involved thing. Like they were like, do you know who this is? Do you know what this man accomplished?
No. If anything, teachers liked that I brought it in because it showed interest in it.
That sucks.
Yeah, and I remember one point in the day, a guy took it and put it in the bathroom, like in the sink. And I'm like...
asshole.
I'm like, yeah, what the hell, guys? What the fuck?
In kindergarten, I had a Yoda belt buckle that I brought to school, and some kid just took it from me. Like on the bus, he just took it out of my hands and didn't get. I'm like, dude, give it back. And he's like, no, it's mine now.
What the hell?
I was like, the fuck, Richard? And then like 2 days later, I remember he was crawling under the bus seats, and I kicked him in the head. I remember this because he was like really pissing me off. He was annoying me. He was like tugging at my leg, and I was like, fuck off. And he was like, he had my belt buckle, and I grabbed the belt buckle and I kicked him in the head. And then he went up to the bus driver, and the bus driver was like, did you kick him in the head? I'm like, yeah, because he stole my belt buckle.
And he's crawling under the seats.
And he's crawling under the seats. And he's like, is this true, young man? He's like, and they were like, you can just go. Just fucking go. And I was like, thank you. And I left.
Now, best moment.
What's your best moment?
I remember... See, here's the thing. I went to a private school, so there were some things that we could not do.
You too?
Yeah, I went to a private school.
I went to a private school for 1 year in 3rd grade.
Kindergarten, first through 8th grade for me. But anyways,
You went to private school 1st through 8th grade?
Mhm.
Damn, fam.
I know.
Which one did you go to?
PVCP.
Damn.
Yeah.
I went to El Dorado. It's up in Greyhawk.
Well, anyways, one of the things that was not allowed was tackle football. You had to play two-hand.
Aw, man.
So guess what? When recess was over, final play. Okay, we're doing tackle. Let's go. So that was how we always ended it. And I remember we would always tackle somebody like really quick, and before the teachers would say, "Hey, what are you doing?" We're like, "Nope, we're done. We got to get to class anyways."
Mm-hmm.
So I remember one day after school, like we called it daycare, because this is for because school gets out at 3:15. Almost everyone goes home, but there are some kids who get picked up late, like me sometimes. So we'd have to go to. I think we called it daycare or aftercare.
Yeah.
Which means we just hang out at the playground.
Obamacare.
Whatever. So then, I remember Nathan. I won't say his last name, but Nathan, that was his name. This glassed fuck was like he thought he was the hottest shit, and for some reason he hated me. He always like pushed me around, made fun of me.
What a douchebag.
Yeah, and like whenever we play football, he'd be even more aggressive with me. So, and my dad always told me, he's like, look, if he ever fights you, I want you to fight him back. But I don't want you to unless he starts it. I don't want you starting a fight.
If you have to fight, but don't throw the first punch.
Yeah, he said that. He's like, don't throw the first punch. But if they do it, if they throw the first punch, go all in. I want you to do it. I'm like, even if I get in trouble? He's like, I don't care if you get expelled. And I'm like, dude, I got my dad's support. And that was like the coolest thing for me at 5th grade. So one day, he was being an ass, and we're trying to play football and everything. And it was me, him, and a couple other guys, and he's just pushing me, constantly push, like physically, just going at it. And I'm like, dude, stop. stop. And he just wasn't doing it. So I went over and I just laid him out. I took him and just threw him on the ground, and his glasses fell over, and he's just like, what the hell? And I just got up and I was like, good, and I walked away, and then nothing happened after that.
He never.
No, he like, yeah, he left me alone, and I didn't get in trouble, and it was like, good, I tackled
Nice,
him.
good for you.
Yeah, and that was like the coolest.
You
moment.
fucking laid him out. That's awesome.
I didn't even like run up or anything, because you know, if you kick someone up from
about
the legs,
to run up on some. I'm just kidding.
So, man, what's your best moment?
Let me start off with my worst moment.
You just said your worst moment. You Yoda belt buckle.
That was pretty shitty, yeah. All right, well, some runner-up.
That was pretty shitty.
Well, some of my runner... Actually, no, I wouldn't say that's my worst. My worst was in 4th grade. We were outside doing some kind of fucking science experiment.
No.
And I forgot my pencil inside after everyone came outside. And I was like, excuse me, Mr. So-and-so. I'm not going to say his name. I forgot my pencil. And he goes... You should have remembered! And he like yelled at me. He like got really upset that I didn't remember my pencil, and he's like, go back inside and get your pencil right now, like yelling and like really aggressively. And I just like ran inside, and like for some reason I cried. I like didn't go back out until I stopped crying. But
Dude, I
just,
cried
like,
too if someone did that for no reason.
Well, it also didn't help that that guy had child porn on his computer. We found out years later that guy had child porn on his computer.
Shit, man.
Yeah, that wasn't very good.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Another worse one was, did you ever have to do JA BizTown, Junior Achievement BizTown?
What the hell is that?
It was some dumb program that they did in 6th grade for us. Where it was basically they went through like 6 weeks of I'm roughly estimating because I don't remember nor give a shit of basically real world training, how to write checks, how to pay taxes, how to do all that gay shit.
Oh, wow, I'd love to have classes like that when I was younger.
Believe me, it was the most boring thing ever. The lessons were totally like discombobulated. Nothing led into anything else. It was all random. It was terrible. And at the very end of it, we all had to get dressed, and they brought us to this little facility, this little place where it was like a miniature town, and we each got assigned jobs, and we all had to do that job throughout the day and like use what we learned during the curriculum to like do our jobs. Of course, I literally got like the hardest job, which was mall CEO and supervisor.
What the hell?
So I was sitting at a cubicle literally the entire time, just like trying to work this computer, trying to read this manual. I got nothing done. It was so fucking confusing because it had nothing to do with what I learned. It had nothing to do with what I learned throughout the different weeks. And the worst part was there was jobs like running the radio show, like running the radio station, because there was like songs playing overhead, and like there were kids that had to pick the next song and like talk over it.
Like, oh.
Yeah, that was so easy. And there was a fucking video game shop where people could play Wii Sports and shit. And I'm like, really? They get to do that shit while I'm sitting here on the computer the entire time? It's not fair. And at the very end of the day, everybody who had like a big role had to give a summary to the entire class or like the entire thing, the entire panel about how like what you did. And since I was the mall supervisor, I had to give one of those speeches, and it was so embarrassing because I was like, it was that bad. I couldn't get a full sentence out without stuttering like a fucking idiot. And then the buses were 2 hours late, and then we got home at like 8:30, and I had to walk home from school.
That's awful, dude.
Luckily, my elementary school is like right down the road. But my best moment would probably be, I'm trying to think because there's a lot of things that are cool. I think probably my best memory was we had this campaign. We all had to like draw these comics, basically this propaganda for no smoking. And I drew one, and I won. Out of all the 6th graders, I won the contest.
Hey, that's
And
pretty cool.
I got a Red Robin gift card for like $15.
Wow, that... Well, take it back. That does not sound cool, actually.
I was like, yeah, you won. You can go get a fucking chicken burger at Red Robin. I'm like, wow. All right. I have two more quick ones though. I had an art teacher who was just like the best guy ever.
Wait, here, let me say one.
Oh yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Wait.
Sorry.
Can we include high school? Because I have a couple of good moments in high school.
If you want to.
Sophomore year, we had to do this creative project, and we had to pick a person or a thing that influenced us or it was an inspiration for us, and we had to do something creative. So we couldn't write an essay. We had to draw. We had to do something creative. The teacher kept emphasizing that. So I thought, okay, I'll pick the drummer for Rush, and I'll draw all the albums that he won Best Recorded Performance. All right, well, they have like 18 albums, and he won like 12 of those 18. And I had like 3 days to draw all those albums.
You still have that in your room, don't you?
Yeah, and so I will say that was like one of the worst 3 days of my life, because I would go to school, draw, hang out with my friends at lunch, draw, come home, draw for 3 days. My grandma came to visit. Guess what I did? I had to sit in the room and draw the whole time.
Dude, that is like dream scenario for me.
I mean,
I would have loved to do nothing but that.
Some were really cool, some were not. Well, the thing is like, it's cool when you're just doing it for fun, but when you got like a deadline, you're going to be judged for it. You're kind of like, this isn't that fun. And I remember the last album I did, it was Permanent Waves. It has a lady, and there's a hurricane in the background. I was like, I'm done. So I just drew Rush, Permanent Waves, and that was it.
Hold that thought.
Alright, so this is the Kock segment, and this is the first time I've ever done the Kock segment by myself, so I'm pretty excited. Let me just say this. The Diamondbacks better win. They better make it to the playoffs, and I'm still deciding on what I'm going to do. See, the last time they made the playoffs was in 2011, and they didn't make it past the first round. 2007, they made it to round 2. And then the segment's over. He's back in. So I'll continue this next time.
I'm sorry.
No, you're all
My
good.
mom called me. She was like,
She called you?
Yeah, you might be able to hear it on the playback, but
I didn't even hear anything.
That's why I was like, hold that thought. I'm sorry I cut you off.
No, you're all good. Well, basically, so I drew the whole thing, and you've seen it. It's pretty big, and I think there's like 16 albums I drew. But anyways, I came up there, and everybody loved it. All the students loved it, and the teacher loved it. And at the end of the class, in front of everyone, she's like, hey, do you think I could keep this so I can show it as an example for my future classes? Because I really like this. And I was like, you want to keep this thing and use it as an example? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, I kind of want to say yes, but I'm really proud of this too, so I'm gonna have to kindly refuse. She's like, okay, that's fine.
I'm gonna have to put you down gently. Fucking suplexes her off of a ladder.
No, but that was a pretty high moment. Because, I mean, let's face it, if you're to draw something and the teacher's like, hey, that's really good, can I use that and use it as an example of what I want other students to, here are your expectations, top that.
That's good.
It's pretty good, man.
That happened to me in Spanish class in a junior year of high school. We did like, mi vida, it was in Spanish class, it was like, mi vida es, like, my life is, and I did video games, so like I drew like a bunch of characters, and they were like, this is what I want, and I was like, fuck yeah.
This is what I
But,
want.
okay, what I'm about to tell you, I've never told another human soul in my entire life.
Before we do that, let's do
Sponsored song of the week.
this podcast is brought to you
this is
by
the week.
oh god,
Dog Years by Rush.
yeah, that's Dog Years is definitely one of the weaker Rush songs. I'll show that whole song to you later on.
Alright.
So again, Dog Years by Rush.
Sponsored song, largest shout out, Geddy Lee.
Biggest shout
You're
out.
a witch in a hut in the woods.
Alright, so you...
So I've never told another breathing human soul this. I trust you enough to tell you this.
You need to put
thing.
something like flash on the screen. This is like a big moment.
This is a Korn original story. No one in the world has heard this story before this point when we're recording.
This is a big shout out.
And when you hear it, it's going to be totally underwhelming. I'm totally hyping it up, but you'll think it's funny.
We'll get back to you on that big shout out then. All right, continue.
In 3rd grade, when I was in private school,
yeah.
I had a teacher. I had 2 teachers basically.
Yeah.
And one of them was like this old, like powdery lady. Like she had like
define powdery lady.
Like you could totally tell she totally like buffed her face.
I thought you meant something else.
Like she put like powder on her face before she came to class every single day. And she was like, she was probably like, she was all wrinkly and stuff. And then there was this really hot, like, no older than like 30, other teacher. And she was like redhead, like had like kind of a bowl hair. I want it, for lack of a better term, like bowl haircut.
What's a bowl? Oh,
but yeah, but
okay.
You know, like her hair is like curves down at the end, but it's like super straight and it's not too long. You know what I'm saying? And I remember one time we were doing like math lessons, and I was in her group. She was teaching like a few kids at a time.
Mm-hmm. You were in the hot teachers group?
Yes, and we were sitting there.
You were hot for teacher, basically.
I've got it bad, got it bad, got it bad. I was too old. I mean, I was too young for puberty. I mean, thinking back, I probably would have gone home and whacked it that day. But here's what happened. We were sitting.
You're in 3rd grade, right?
Yeah. I didn't start until I was in like 7.5 grade.
I started 6th grade, I think.
What? That's you, man. That's not me. But anyway, so she's sitting across from me, like, and we're all in a big group, and she's wearing like the most low-cut shirt I've ever seen a teacher wear, and they're just both just right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're both hanging right there, and they're not like gross. They're just like, you know, perfectly spaced, and I'm just like, fuck, man, I'm too young to understand this.
What even goes through your head through that?
I was like, it was really hard for me to pay attention to what we were learning.
I mean, yeah, but like, what do you think though? What goes through your head during
What went through my head was just like, I don't understand why I'm so intrigued, but I'm not mad.
Yeah,
and then like looking back, I'm like, fuck, man, I wish I was more developed back then.
So what happened?
That was it. We just like for half an hour, I was just sitting there like. It's like, Alex, what is the answer to this question?
Yes. I'll tell
24.
I'll tell you something that I don't know if I've ever told anyone this. But maybe. I don't think I have. You ever think back and you're like, what was that moment where I was like, I was like,
your eyes are wide open and you're like, fuck.
And you're like, I like girls.
Oh,
you remember that moment?
I do remember that moment.
That moment for me, and you're going to think this is a coincidence, and it's not.
Okay.
But this is the God-honest truth. My parents bought me the Police Synchronicity concert on DVD, and the concert was in 1983. So I watched it, and that's part of the reason I wanted to play drums, because I'd watched the drummer and everything. But they had these backup singers.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, I could not take my eyes off of them. Whenever they would, like, I'd have the DVD. I had a DVD in my room, which when you're like 8 years old and you have a DVD in your room with your own remote, you might as well have like $1 million, because you are in complete control.
Oh, it's true.
So like, because you can't do that in the living room or in your parents' room.
Yeah.
So anyways, I would go back and just like rewind and just look at them, and I was like, I don't understand why, because they're backup singers. They're like 30 years old or whatever, and it's from 1983 with those cheesy effects and everything. And ever since then, I was just like, it just something clicked in my head. And ever since I had that DVD and I watched it, downhill. Because we all know women are not they're not worth it. 98% of the time, they're not worth it. Hey, guys aren't worth it either.
Yeah, a lot of guys are sleazeballs.
Yeah, no one's worth it.
I'm a sleazeball sometimes.
Let's just all be single.
But I got a big dick.
I mean, same, but...
I mean, Well,
Yeah, what was that moment for you? Where you that one moment where you were just like,
Well, there's a moment. I had like 2 moments like that. One where I was like,
you had an awakening.
I had like girls are a thing, and then I had the I want to go after this chick moment. You know what I'm saying? I think I was like, I think my parents were like watching The Sopranos when I was like a really little kid.
Yeah.
And it was late at night, and I didn't want to go to bed, so I was just dicking around under like, you know how some kids have like a wooden train table, you know, where you have those trains on the wooden tracks? I had one of those, and I was camping out underneath it. And there was this one chick that was like half naked. She had like a bra and like panties on. And I just looked at it and I was like, wow. This was back when I was like 6 years old, like really young.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. Like there was really no other words for it. I was just like, yeah. And I was like pointing at the screen. I was like, yeah. But the time where I was like, no, this chick, this is time for my spiritual awakening.
Yeah.
Was freshman year, first day of second semester, where I had piano class, right after lunch, and I was sitting down, and I was dicking around on the piano, and well, you probably already know about this.
Yeah,
because you read about that moment.
I read about it?
Yeah, remember I wrote it down on that Google Doc, and you read the entire thing?
I was going to say, I was like, I read about it. I think you've told me
and you know what happens next. Well, you do, Kock. I mean, I'm not, the other people don't know, but it's like, this girl comes in, like, after the bell rings, and I'm just like, fuck, man. I need that in my life. Because I don't know. It was just the first time I ever saw a girl, and I went, like, it was just like an unexplainable, describable feeling, where it's just, you know, that it's like, I gotta do something about this. I need that person in my life, you know? And, yeah, it didn't end so well, but who cares? At least it happened, and I'm sure there'll be someone else in the future.
Yeah, I remember my first crush I had, like, major one.
So do I.
Yeah, it was like, when was it? I think it was 6th grade.
Uh-huh.
Like, I just remember, I don't know, I don't remember the moment or anything, but I just remember I was like Keanu Reeves. I was just like,
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, I was like, whoa. And I was just like, and then I just didn't know what to do. And her name was Brittany too.
Mm.
And she sat next to me in the computer class that we had.
Fuck yeah.
So it was even worse. So like so I remember like the only way I could try to impress her was if I typed really fast. And I could, but you know how you have to have 4 and you're supposed to use all 4 fingers? I never did that.
Neither did I. I always hated that.
I did like the 2, 3 fingers. I moved my hands around.
Yeah, you know? How else would you do it?
And I remember one time we had to do like a family tree project in the computer class, and I wrote all my names out, and she was looking at my screen, and she's like, you got cool names in your family. And I was like, thanks. And I was like, that was like the highlight of my year right there. Things didn't really end up too well with her, but you know, I didn't even like make a move on her, but she went to a different school, and she like apparently hated the school we went to, and she apparently like roasted every single person in her class.
Fucking roasted, gone, destroyed,
including me. And I found out what she said, and it was pretty bad, pretty harsh.
That's mean. Fuck her.
Yeah.
Fuck her in that case.
What did she say? I don't even remember.
She said Lightning McQueen doesn't win the race. Fuck you.
How was Cars 3?
It was awful. I paid nothing to see it, and I was still let down.
I expected nothing. It was still let down.
Yeah, seriously. It was, like, horrible. I enjoyed Cars 2 more than I enjoyed Cars 3. And that's saying something, because Cars 2 is a fucking mess.
Hey, Lamau!
Hey, Lamau! Hey, Lamau! Okay, but, my very first crush was in kindergarten. It was this
Kindergarten?
Well, I mean...
First of all, how do you even remember that?
Because it was like this one person, and her name was Brianna, and I wonder where she was like jet black hair, and I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I want. And then I totally forgot about her for the longest time. And I was like, who is... And like a few weeks ago, I was like, who is that girl that I liked in class? And I remembered it right away. And I was like, damn. Ooh, I also knew this girl in 2nd grade named Asia. Her name was Asia.
Asia.
And I think she liked me because we drew these little comics together. Like about this guy named Mighty Mike.
Mighty Mike? What's Mighty Mike?
So that's going to be the name of this episode, Fuck Mighty Mike.
No. We should have Mighty Mike... Mighty Mike
complains about guns.
Mighty Mike versus guns.
No,
Mighty Mike.
Mighty Mike with 2 guns.
Mighty Mike takes on the gun problem, or the gun solution.
But I still have those comics. I'm tempted
with
to like.
Mighty Mike.
Yeah, I still have them.
Fuck. Why is it at the
kept them all these years, man?
The hour and 26 mark? We finally hit the Mighty Mike. And this is like what makes it.
When I was a little kid, I had all these different little comic book characters. That was my favorite thing to do when I was a little kid. I used to draw nothing but comics, and I had this one comic named and they were all stick figures basically.
Oh yeah.
The first one I ever made was called Billy and Billy, and it was like one Billy was like this asshole, this douchebag, and the other one was just a lovable idiot, you know. Like, the most cliche thing you could possibly... But, like, oh my god. And then there was also Leg, the incredible edible talking egg.
What the fuck?
It was literally just an egg.
Look, I'm sorry, but nothing will top Mighty Mike. Nothing will ever top Mighty Mike.
It's like Magic Mike.
You know what that whenever I hear the word Mighty, I think of Mighty Beans. You remember that shit?
I remember Mighty Beans. Mighty Beans were hype, dude.
You want to trigger my dad? Say Mighty Beans to him.
And he's like, God fucking damn it, not again.
Yeah, when I mention Mighty Beans, he's like, oh, you know what I think about Mighty Beans? I'm like, what? He's like, you pay $5-6 and you have all of them. It's a waste of money. I'm like, but they were fun. He's like, nope, it was a waste of money.
I remember those things. But then there was also one. This is kind of embarrassing, but when I was really little, really little, I had a crush on Princess Peach. You know,
who doesn't have a crush on Princess Peach?
Well, I had a dream.
She's nice. She's a nice lady.
I forget what show I watched, but I watched some cartoon show where they like set up a wedding with 2 characters, and then that night I had a dream where I married her, and like we were like in trouble. It was fucking. You're writing this down, aren't you?
No, I'm writing about Mighty Mike.
Okay, but yeah, I wrote a comic about like our escapades, cause like we were trying to get married and someone was trying to stop it, and I was like, fuck, man. I don't know where that one went. The only one I still have from my childhood is Mighty Mike, unfortunately.
You know, I'll tell you an embarrassing story of mine. A long time ago, I was at a hotel.
I'm really glad you took that so well, by the way. I'm sorry to interrupt, but...
What?
Just like, you know, it's kind of embarrassing, but, you know, I had a crush on you. You're like, who fucking didn't?
Well, yeah, I mean, like, dude, everyone has crushes on, you know, video game characters or... I'll admit,
I've had full-grown men.
I've had crushes on characters in books, so that you have to imagine that.
That's beautiful.
That's beautiful.
No, but like it takes a special kind of love to like to see something through words, you know.
Yeah, that's true. But, so anyways, I was really young. I was like 10, maybe even 9, and I was in a hotel or like a hotel place with a big pool and everything. It was me, my sister, and my mom. Mm-hmm. I think my dad was working. And we were in the big pool, and there's like a jacuzzi. And I was dicking around, having fun. And...
The fuck, Feezy?
God damn it. Anyways, I was in the pool. My mom was like... looking back, I think my mom... I know why she was doing it, but at the time, I didn't understand it. She was like, hey... And I'm saying this... This doesn't give permission to anyone to say it, but she's like, hey, Stoney. Because, you know, that's what my parents call him. She's like, hey, Stoney.
Yeah, Stone hates it when people call him that.
Only, like, family members and my wife can call me that.
I called him that once, and he was like, if you ever call me that again, we're not friends.
Well,
and I did immediately, and he got really mad. He was like, the fuck?
The fuck? Yeah, exactly, man.
All right, but continue.
So my mom was like, hey, Stoney, those girls in that jacuzzi over there keep looking over at you. So I looked over. And
Well, I'm sorry. When was this again?
like when I was 9 or 10.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Well, I looked over and I think I saw one of them or a couple of them were looking at me, and I was like, yeah. And she's like, you should go over and sit in the jacuzzi and talk to them. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. Kim, I'm like 9 or 10. I'm like the shyest kid ever.
I'm still the shyest kid ever.
Me too. So
Dude, you have more balls than I do. I'll give you that.
No. Get this. So she's like, come on, just go over. My mom, to my 9-year-old son, is like, go and talk to them. They think you're cute. They want to talk to you. And I'm like, all right, fine, I'll do it. So I slowly get out of the pool and I'm slowly walking over, and they're looking at me. They're waiting for me to walk over. And I bailed. I couldn't do it. So I ran back into the pool and I jumped in and I swam back over to her and I was like, I can't do it. I don't want to do it. I can't do it. And my mom was like, all right. She was so upset with me. So afterwards she took me to the store and bought me Mighty Beans. Because she felt bad for
Fucking Mighty Beans.
Looking back, it was so embarrassing. That's probably...
Fucking Mighty Beans.
Looking back, that's... For me, that's one of my most embarrassing moments. Because looking back, I honestly think they were looking at me and checking me out. Granted, I was 9 years old. But hey, you got to break out of that shell sometime. And my mom was still like disappointed and not upset, but she was just disappointed. She's like, I feel bad for this kid. I'm going to buy him Mighty Beans. Because I was into Mighty Beans at the time.
Huh. My firstborn son died. My wife had a miscarriage. She also died. All my family is dead. I'm left all alone in my apartment. But Diamondbacks won, and I got some Mighty Beans today. So, good day.
Diamondback. Oh, we should call us Mighty Mike versus Mighty Beans.
We need a resurgence of Mighty Beans.
We
need a resurgence of Mighty Mike.
Mighty Mike has to be in this title somewhere.
Hey, yo, if anyone's watching this from the Mega Man chat room, remind me to send you a picture of Mighty Mike, and then I want you to get some other artist, because I'm too fucking lazy to do it, to reboot Mighty Mike.
He's pointing at the mic, so you know this shit is serious.
I'm dead serious. I was pointing at the mic.
Alright, well, I think we should do a recap.
We should do a recap. This has been a meaty one. It's been a mighty one.
A
mighty podcast.
Mighty, meaty podcast. Alright, we got Washington Nationals hat.
Yes.
And I just bought this. This is a newer one. I like it.
Yes.
And then we talked about guns, fear, and getting hit by cars.
That is true. Getting hit by cars isn't fun. Don't try it.
And then, I don't know why, but that viewer mail with the pig.
Oh my fucking god, it's so funny.
It's still... we need to look up that clip before, this night's over. And then this podcast is brought to you by Dog Ears by Rush.
Dog ears.
Dog Ears, don't listen to it.
It is the year of Luigi.
And then, I put down a potential episode title, Mighty Mike Takes on the Gun Problem. Because we talked about Mighty Mike and guns.
Fucking Mighty Mike.
But Mighty Mike's better be somewhere in that thing.
Happy. Yeah.
Now, I was thinking about this. I think this week, we should change up the story. I think we should tell a mutual story that we were both there.
Once we were both there for, okay.
But which one? I thought of one that...
The last time we ever drove in your Pathfinder?
I was going to say the Fall of the Pathfinder or Anaheim. But Anaheim might be
Anaheim's like more like a saga rather than like
a saga.
Yeah, because it's a few days.
Like there's
a bunch of different things that have. We gotta have Russell on for that because he was there.
We need to have Aaron. We need to get Steven over Skype.
Ah, we'll Steven.
We
love you, Steven.
I miss him.
I miss him too. He was great.
All right, so we want to
let's just do the Pathfinder for now. We'll save the Anaheim story for another time. This is the
fall of the Pathfinder, aka the Cockmobile.
This was Stone's car before he had the minivan he has now.
Now this is kind of a sad story for me. But,
it's top 10 anime deaths.
Yeah, dude. It is. That's probably like number 3 for me.
What's number 1?
My Innocence.
What's number 2?
The goldfish I had that killed itself.
Shit, man. Alright, so...
I honestly don't remember...
You can start it.
Well, I was going to say...
It's all started out... We went to the TV smashing spot that I mentioned earlier in the podcast.
It was around Christmas.
It was around Christmas, and it's usually... The things we do are usually seasonal. Usually when it's cold, we'll do fires. It's a little open area. There's no shrubs. There's no nothing. Nothing's gonna catch on fire. Don't get on our asses. In the summer we smash TVs. In like the fall we smash pumpkins that we steal from Fry's.
I was not part of that.
Neither was I, but it happened. I'm not giving any names, but so it's seasonal. So we brought a bunch of wooden pallets to burn in the middle of the desert. And it was like me, Stone, Zane, Ben, Mayor, Russell.
Pretty good sized group.
Amjad, I think, Steven.
Amjad was there. I remember we had like 4 cars there.
Yeah, we had like 4 cars there. So we have this big pillar of just fucking inferno in front of us. And all of a sudden, Zane's like, car! Because he sees headlights coming up the...
He said cops.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He didn't say car. He said cops. Even though they was just a pair of headlights. So, without thinking, all of us run to our cars, get in, and we just fucking drive. We just all escaped through the desert. Escape by Metallica through the desert. We didn't put out the fire. We didn't attempt to put out the fire.
Oh no, fuck that.
We just fucking bailed. And Stone and I were the first ones out of that situation. But here's the thing. We got so far in the desert that we were like, we should just keep going north until we hit a road. Because I know we eventually hit a road.
Yeah.
It was very bumpy. Like really bumpy, and we were going pretty fast too. So
well, not like incredibly fast, but we were going fast enough where if that thing isn't if that tires don't bounce, it's gonna do some damage. And I remember we got in and I had enough time to put on BYOB by System of a Down.
I remember we were listening to that and I was just like, fuck, man.
Yeah, and Korn's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I gotta have some getaway music playing, man. It makes it better. And he's like, understandable.
I probably did say something like that.
Yeah, so we were getting through this thing, and after a while, we're like, there's nothing behind us.
There's nothing behind us. If it was an actual cop, we would have seen lights turn on by now. Yeah,
so we're like, all right, we're already too far into this. Let's just continue going through. So we hit the road eventually, and it's like this
desolate.
It's not a dirt road, but it's like a cement road, but it's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So we're driving down, and I know where we're at.
Because he had delivered pizzas up there before.
Farther than that.
I know.
So we get to the road, and I start feeling a shaking, like violent, like it would start off small.
A violent shake.
Yeah, and then it would violently shake, and I'd shake the wheel to the right, and then it'd go away, and I'm like, "You felt that, right?" And he's like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "It's not good." So we pulled over and we're looking at this thing, but there's no way we can really tell what's wrong with it.
So he keeps driving, and I remember he was trying to make a turn, and he turned the steering wheel like 2 times, and the car didn't move.
Oh
the car didn't turn.
I remember that. Yeah,
because the steering wheel was fucked up.
Yeah, the alignment.
The alignment was not only just destroyed, but the bearings on like the right wheel were just
there were 4 things wrong with that car. The alignment was the big one. So anyways, we drive back to because we're all like, trying to call each other. We can't, no one is doing anything.
Yeah, no one's answering the phones. We're just all still scrambling.
And we're like, well, we got away, but we may have fucked the car, so... And then we were actually debating if we should go back to the scene or not. So we decided to go back, and we're there, and there's another car there.
And they're putting something out on the fire. They're like putting out the fire. And they're like on the phone, presumably with law enforcement.
Yeah, and then another car came back. Do you remember who it was? I think it was Zane.
No, Zane was already home. It might have been...
It was Amjad.
I think it was Amjad.
Because Ben, we'll get to him in a second. Amjad came back, I think with Mayor, and they were like totally fine.
They were like, you guys are stupid. And I'm like, it was just another fucking person. Zane scared us for no reason.
Yeah.
And I called Zane. I'm like, you do realize that was a fucking... Like, there was no reason for that, right? And he was like... Hangs up.
No, but then we're like, where's Ben and Steven? Because we haven't heard from them, and we don't know where that... And they went the same direction that we went, too.
Yes,
we somehow lost them. So we call them, and like any good story, Ben is like, my phone's at 5%. You know, and we're like, Ben, where are you? You know, he called us. And I'm like, hey, Ben, we're fine over here. Everything's good. The Pathfinder got fucked up, but we're fine. Where are you? And he's like, I don't know, man. Me and Steven got lost, and now we're in someone's yard, and we're stuck in this... No, he said he was lost. So we drove over in the area, and we're trying to find him, and then Ben's car got stuck.
Yes.
In some random guy's yard.
Yeah, no, it wasn't in some guy's yard.
It wasn't his yard.
It was like in the boonies though, and it was like along the road.
It looked like
the
we were
mud.
in...
It was along the mud road that led to the actual road.
Going into it, we looked like we were in someone's property.
Yeah.
Because we could see that we could have just slept in the guy's farm. We could have walked to it.
Right.
So now Ben doesn't have his car, but we still don't know where he's at.
Yeah, that was the biggest problem.
So now they have to walk to us at 12:30 at night.
Yeah, we found a spot and we were like, Ben, what are your crossroads? And he's like, this and this, and we're like, okay, I think we're down the road from that. And then it just kept going back, and we were like trying to shine flashlights up on the big electrical posts to see if they could see it.
We're honking the horns, and do you see anything? Do you hear anything? He's like,
no,
not really. And Steven's with him too, so Ben's not alone. And honestly, if I wanted to be alone in the desert with someone, I probably would want Steven next to me, because Steven could probably kill a coyote with his bare hand.
Yeah, no, Steven's a
bare hand,
tank.
not hands, but hand.
Just one hand.
He could just choke the thing out,
and then he could whack off with the other hand.
No, but eventually we find him.
They walked to us. They came over and we were like...
Yeah, then we had to go look at the damage of the... Not the damage, but where the car was. It was stuck in mud. So we walk over. And I say improperty because it looked like we walked into someone's driveway. And we're just in the middle of his farm. There's his house. There's his hay. There's his house. You know, we can see the trucks and everything. I was just waiting for a shotgun to be poked up against my back and just be like...
We don't take kindly to white people around here.
And it's like, but you're white. It's like,
but that's not what I said.
Like, but you're not my white.
But you're not Conan O'Brien in a snowstorm white.
So anyways, so we get there, and so now the new mission is we got to get this car out of here. And this is like a brand new car too for Ben. So
nice 2016 Honda Civic.
Yeah. So how do we get it out? We found it. We found a shovel.
I think
we found a shovel.
We did.
We dug out the mud. That's why I'm like.
I think the problem was he was trying to go forward, but he never thought about like just reversing out of there.
I think by the time he realized it was too late, so we had to like dig the mud out and then push the car backwards.
Yeah, but then after that, after we got him out of that initial mud pool, he was fine.
Oh yeah, after that everything was fine. Yeah, Ben almost like teared up because he was like so worried, but we're like, yo, we're all good. Just pray that the Pathfinder's all right.
And it wasn't, unfortunately.
Yeah, so... Yeah, driving, that's probably the only night I've ever been totally scared to death driving home. Because, you know, you'd have to turn halfway to go left and then turn halfway to go right. And then when it'd start to shake, you'd have to like, all right, which way am I going to steer to level this thing out? So then, you know, there's no denying it. I had to like, you know, break it to my dad. Because this thing was full of mud.
Uh-huh.
It was covered with mud, not full of it. So I told him, and he's just like, why did you do it? I'm like, because my friend was stuck out in the desert. He's like, did he make you? And I'm like, no, I chose to do it. He was just upset that, you know...
The car was fucked up.
And it was because of something that could have been prevented. It wasn't like it was parked in a parking lot, someone hit it and ran away.
Yeah.
So it was like it was like December 28th or 29th, and I couldn't go to Sardell's. I had to call out 2 days in a row, which I'd never done before because of car problems. I felt bad. Mm-hmm. And that's when we were searching for minivans. And then lo and behold,
the produce truck.
I think December 31st of 2016, I bought that minivan. So the next day, what better way to start off the new year than to buy a new car the day before the new year?
And I remember you brought it over to my house like on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, that was right. Okay, I think I bought it on the 30th of December. Yeah, and I showed it to them.
Because remember we all hung out on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, and that's when the door went open. And Zane.
Oh, and then we found out. It's like, guess what's the best part about it? Beep beep.
Oh, yeah.
That was wonderful, and I will never forget Zane's laugh because it was so fucking genuine.
I don't know, because like
he's like, that's fucking awesome.
You can't prepare yourself for something like that. It's like, hey man, I got a new car, and it's like a minivan. You're like,
it's like,
all right.
It's cool, and it's like, it's got a special feature. Oh shit, what is it? Beep. You're just like, what the hell, man?
And you're like, is that you? It's like, yeah, I put it in reverse and it beeps, and you're like, what the fuck? And everyone I show that to, they're like, "Did you put that in?" I'm like, "Fuck no, it came like that."
And you wouldn't want it any other way?
Hell no. I totally think I said fucking someone walked by the door.
It was probably Feezy going to the bathroom. You know who else is going to the bathroom? Us, after we end the podcast.
I'm gonna eat after this. I'm starving.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us this week on the 7th episode of Korn N Kock.
Yeah, the magnificent desaturating 7, or the desaturating 7.
Let's just let's sing it real quick to end off the episode.
You remember how it goes?
Red, orange, yellow, green. Okay, let's do it.
But then it's the desaturating 7, not the colors of the 7. Okay, ready?
Okay.
All right. 2, 3, 4. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. These are the desaturating 7. And there it is, episode 7.
I'm gonna beat off on the fucking microphone.
All
I'm
right.
just kidding. Sorry.
Big shout out. That was a good comeback from
Largest shout out.
Big shout out to everyone involved. Golden Shades,
Cosmic Gem, everyone who we mentioned in the stories. You know, shout out to my friends, Asia, and fucking Brianna. If you're ever watching this shit, HMU on Facebook.
HMU. Big shout out to the Diamondbacks. Let's keep this going.
Woo!
And yeah, we'll see you next Tuesday.
We'll see ya on the next episode.
All right, big shout out.
Bye.